All right, so today I'm gonna make a video about time manipulation and how time manipulation is used against us. Um, which is very important to me today because something I noticed is that the energies that I'm experiencing, the thought patterns and things like that I'm experiencing mimic the exact thought patterns of 2015. Remember in the video I talked about in the video about time is an illusion. I said that time could be used against you, and this can happen on a mental level where you're exposed to certain triggers, where you get the same thought patterns or the same things happening over and over again, or happening in the same sequence because something is triggered inside of you. All right, so one of the ways that this is used against us is through symbols, through things that we like. One of the examples that I want to use is like how they use certain movies or certain themes in movies and they replay it from like your childhood. Like a good example of this is how they took the animated version of The Lion King and made it into a live action version. What this does to us on a mental level is it transfers us back to that time when we were a child and when that was something that we had a strong emotional connection with, especially with the movie The Lion King, because a lot of people, if you've ever watched The Lion King, a lot of people cried at the part where Mufasa died. And when Mufasa died, I mean, and since they cried at the part when Mufasa died, it triggers like a strong emotional connection. And what happens on a mental level is it transfers your mind back to that level. Um, why this is important is because you are basically a time traveler or a time machine, because you can travel back to a specific time based on the thought processes that your mind outputs and the projections that you project out. And they do this all the time. Like with this, it's not just that you can do it with like small symbols as well. Like um you know how like they have like the third eye symbol. That's a very powerful symbol because it can cause you to think in a certain way. Can cause you to project in a certain way, which is why they use it in so many things. And people think that it's like just like the Illuminati and it's just like about a secret group that does things and have like super secret handshakes and stuff like that, secret handshakes and stuff like that. But it's bigger than that. It's way more important than that, in a sense. Like they have the knowledge of time, or they have knowledge of the mind and the fact that the mind is a projection, or the mind projects. And the same symbol that is represented as the third eye is inside of a TV, which goes to show you that not only are they aware of this knowledge or the power of that symbol, but they use it against you because they have a lot of people, focus on the TV instead of focusing on themselves. Because if they focus on themselves, they will recognize that the same symbol or the same ability is inside of them. You have the ability to project out you have the ability to project out all kinds of things, many stories, many just anything that you can see on the TV, you can pretty much project outside of yourself. And it makes a lot of makes a lot of things happen kind of like in the real world, or in the world that you see outside of yourself. So the energies that you connect to, the energies that you are exposed to, whether you know it or not, they can be projected out into the real world, in the sense that they manifest, because the light has been, or the focus has been put on them. So since your focus has been put on them in a certain way, like you've given energy to those symbols, those thought patterns, and those things, that certain things start to play out, and it comes out like a movie. You have to recognize that you are the main character, and you have the ability to navigate through the projections. You have the ability to navigate through the story and tell it how you want to tell it, or to live it how you want to live it. But you have to have knowledge of being able to do that. It's very, very important that you understand that time can be manipulated against you. And you also have to understand that since time can be manipulated against you, you are put in a position to where you have to be cognizant. You have to be aware of when it happens. You have to pay attention to all the patterns that occur. Like, just take a look at your life and see the sequence of events that play out in certain situations. Like, for instance, if you are putting out a specific energy, such as what you wear. If you wear the color, let's say, for example, I'm wearing the color red. Since I'm wearing the color red, or it's actually kind of pinkish in a way. Since I'm wearing the color pinkish in a way, and flowers, and I have flowers on too as well, it emits like certain energies, and it exposes me to certain energies. It allows me to see certain things. And it triggers certain thought patterns and processes. Since it triggers certain thought patterns and processes, I'm in tune with a certain level of awareness. And the awareness that I'm aware of is like different from if I would be wearing like something like all black, or something just plain, like a plain white t-shirt. And there's nothing wrong with wearing a plain white t-shirt or anything like that, but I'm just using it as an example. Like, it does trigger certain things inside of your environment. And you can also think of like certain events or certain acts, like sex. You could think of sex, and then certain energies will come to you. And then you can also think of your heart to kind of like change the energy up. You would think of like something higher than sex, something much better than that sex, and something much more fulfilling. And even more, you don't get stuck in those energies. And that's what happens with time manipulation. Like, since you are unaware of it, you get lost in the energies that are projected to you. Or rather, projected from you. They're projected from you, but it's certain things that'll lead up to it to cause it to project from you. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense in the way that I intended to make sense. But if it doesn't, I can definitely make another video and explain that. But I do love you, and understand that time manipulation and mind manipulation are not necessarily different in a way, because your mind time travels. And since your mind time travels, you can basically be stuck in a specific time or a specific place inside of your mind. You have to remember that you're not your mind, and you're not time. And time itself doesn't necessarily move. No, time itself doesn't move at all, excuse me. You are what causes time to be what it is. And since you are what causes time to be what it is, you can be manipulated, or you can be in a position of power and cause time to move in a way that helps you or best suits you. But you have to be aware of it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about that one. I hope you have a good day.